Hey everyone, got Chainsaw Man 11 here. I'm not doing a pickups video, I just wanted to flex that I got it early, because I am a famous manga tuber, and that's the type of privileges I get. Welcome back, I'm back from my hiatus. I went on a nice little trip, checked out the capital, got to see where all those truckers peed a few months ago. Went to see Avril, that was fantastic. Went to French Canada. Not as fantastic. It's fucking... In Montreal, you cannot turn right at a red light. What the fuck? Anyway, I'm back here to do a Shonen Jump recap, and I usually wait for, the next batch to start up, and a bunch of new series are, about to start up. But it has been a very long time since the last one, and so much stuff has been happening with the magazine that I really had to just get this one out. So buckle up, because we have quite a bit to talk about today. Not going to touch on every series, as I'm not caught up with most things as per usual. So the only thing I'm fully caught up with right now is Blue Box, which I still love. I think it's wonderful. I think Wano is finally about to end. I think. It's funny, a few months ago, people were going absolutely insane about the events in One Piece. I was unfortunately spoiled on a few things. It was kind of hard not to be. But it made me really excited to jump back into it when Wano ended. And it felt like Wano was about to end, and it's of course still going because it's One Piece, and I know a lot of people now are getting a bit frustrated at how long it's been going on for. That could just be a symptom of the weekly hell, a reason I don't like to keep up with One Piece weekly. But yeah, either way, we'll have to see. I'm excited to finally see this arc completed, hopefully. It's always exciting when One Piece moves into a different era, because that happens less and less frequently in this day and age. Black Clover, which, as you know, don't really care for, but a lot of people do, is currently on hiatus. That is right, a huge major arc ended about a month ago, and now Tabata is taking a little break to prepare himself for the final arc of Black Clover. That is right, now we have Black Clover, Mashle, My Hero Academia, and likely soon to be Jujutsu Kaisen, all in or moving into their final acts. And this has got a lot of people worried, how a lot of Jump's biggest hits right now are coming to an end, and within a year's time, they might all be gone. Probably not Jujutsu Kaisen, that probably still has a bit more to go, but you know how it is. And as always, this leads a lot of people to be sort of worried about the future of the magazine. With all of these big hits, these mainstays for quite a while ending, what's gonna happen? And I always give the same response, I just think new hits are going to replace them. There's always a demand, and that demand is usually met. Even if it doesn't seem like it right now, we still have a long way to go before all of these series are completely gone. Anything could happen. I think it's very likely that just new action manga will blow up and take their place. In fact, I don't really see any negatives here at all. I think authors being able to end their series when they want on their own terms is a fantastic thing that Jump does nowadays. Of course, they infamously used to want series to just go on forever, and it led to a lot of the most popular series kind of going out with a whimper. And while some of their most popular series still do, it does seem like the modern Shonen Jump prefers multiple massive hits rather than a handful of massive hits. Because having something like One Piece, which sells millions of copies with each new volume, is great. Having things like Promised Neverland, Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, one massive hit after the other, is in the long run probably a better move. Shorter series are just easier to sell and easier to get into. One Piece might still be massive, but it doesn't have the backlog sales that propelled Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen to the top. Because a lot of new readers are just super intimidated by it, so they're not even gonna bother. So that's where I stand on that, I think they are gonna have to start cranking out some new bigger hits. So me and Roboco is getting an anime. I've been talking about this series for months. It has not really been selling spectacularly. If it were an action manga, it probably would have been long gone. But here it is nearing chapter 100, and they have announced an anime for it, which is kind of wild for a series that sells this little. And I really think it just has to do with the type of series that Roboco is. It's a very episodic, child-friendly gag manga. I think what they are trying to do here is just capitalize on maybe like the Saturday morning cartoon vibe, aim it towards more younger kids. They likely see a lot of value in this franchise as something like that, and they want to sort of make that leap. While the series is not a massive hit, it does have a pretty solid fan base already, and a lot of mangaka have endorsed it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, it has really great ratings online, as opposed to people just buying the volumes, especially if the audience is younger, which I think is what they're going for. And while I myself have not gotten into the series, I don't think I ever will, wasn't really my thing, I do appreciate a lot of the spoofs that they've been doing. They've made me chuckle quite a bit, especially this recent Oshinoko one. Oshinoko's phenomenal, please read it. So yeah, I guess Roboco fans are eating. You guys proved me wrong. Well done. In fact, me being proved wrong kind of seems to be a theme with this update here, as PPP seems to have actually been doing pretty well, to my shock. And I am shocked. Like, when I read this in the last update, I did not see a future for this thing at all. I thought the art was super unappealing. I didn't care for the story or much that was happening. A lot of people responded to me like, hey, this is actually kind of cool. You're an idiot. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm always right. I'm 100% right about everything. But nah, Volume 1 came out, and it seems to have sold pretty well for a brand new series without any hype behind it. And it seems like it may be sticking around. So, yeah, I guess I ate some shit on that one. Let's move into the series that have ended so I can continue the theme of me eating shit. Ayashimon is over. It ended just a few days ago. The whole thing. And this was one that myself and a lot of other people were quite excited for when it first started. In fact, I was pretty positive on it in my last video when I just read the first few chapters, because I really enjoyed them. This was a veteran manga coming back, and while I hadn't read their previous work, I had a pretty strong first impression based on the first few chapters of Ayashimon. And while I did not continue reading, because I don't usually do that until I know the series won't be getting axed. And sure enough, it lasted 25 chapters, and now it's out of here. I don't really know what happened. I don't know if, you know, people just weren't feeling it from the start, if it fell off at some point. While it didn't sell super well, it wasn't really a bomb. Like, there have been action series that have sold around the same and continued on, so I was kind of surprised when it did end. That's it. That's, you know, that's the unfortunate way things sometimes go. And it's another example of how Jump does not go easy on people, even if they are veteran mangaka. It could be argued that after the whole Samurai 8 fiasco, they even go harder on veteran mangaka, with stuff like Build King and now Ayashimon ending very early. As for other series that we have said goodbye to, of course Dr. Stone being the big one, which came to a natural conclusion. I did a full review on that before my trip. Not a fantastic conclusion, if I do say so myself, but you know, that's just me. The creators have been teasing a bit more stuff to come out of the franchise, so fans have that to look forward to, I suppose. Ayakashi Triangle, while it has not ended, it has officially left the Weekly Shonen Jump magazine. They didn't really give a specific reason for this, but you know, with the sexual nature of things going on, I mean, this was a really explicit series for Shonen Jump. From what I've seen, probably more so than Haunted Hot Springs. Viz actually just straight up didn't publish some of the chapters because of how explicit they were, which is odd considering some of the things that are on that website. So yeah, it has been moved to Jump Plus. Which is fine. I'm, you know, good for it, I suppose. That was probably where it should have been in the first place, but whatever. Magu-chan has also finally come to an end. I said in the last video that a lot of people were surprised that it was even still running, and yeah, it shows, because, you know, they just, you know, wrapped it up quickly. It did last a lot longer than a lot of Axe comedy series do, so I give it credit for that. But yeah, I don't really see much else happening with this one, so you know, good job, well done, Magu-chan. You did a lot better than most. Not much to say about the Axe bait. Doran and Shugumaru are out of here. If they're not out of here, I am probably going to eat my underwear live on stream. I'm going to catch a skunk and eat its asshole. As for the new stuff, now of course Goodbye Eri was the big new one-shot from Fujimoto. I did a full video on that because I was so impressed with it. We've since learned it will be getting a volume release that will likely come out in English at some point. Of course, Look Back is coming out in the fall. So yeah, just really, really happy to see so many people loving this new one-shot like I did. And then we have 3 new series that have started up since last time. Earthchild is about a guy who falls in love with an Earth girl. Earth people are people who defend the Earth from threats. They serve, as they say, as the planet's immune system. When there are threats to life on Earth, they take action, and yeah, that's what they do. That's their job. When he runs into this girl, she tries to erase his memories, but he is so in love with her that he keeps remembering her, so they eventually get together and have a baby, an Earthchild. Then a giant meteor threatens to destroy the Earth. She goes up there, sacrifices herself, and now our boy is left alone with his boy, and he has to raise him to be the perfect Earthchild or something. I honestly thought all this would be sort of like the prologue, and then the series would pick up with this child all grown up. That does not seem to be the direction they're going in, that we seem to be following this guy as he raises this kid on his own, and it was fine. They also find out his wife might still be alive up there, so they're trying to do science stuff to figure that out too. I don't know. I didn't really read that much of this one. You know, I didn't think it was awful, but it didn't really do much for me, and I think we'll have to wait a bit longer to see if this one has any legs. But as always, if, you know, it starts to do well and continues on, I'll probably give it another go. The same can be said for Super Smartphone, which sounded absolutely ridiculous when I first heard about it. But as I read the first few chapters, I can see some potential here about a kid who finds this mysterious smartphone out of nowhere that lets him search up pretty much anything. Like any physical information that exists in the world, it can give it to him. But there's a catch: he has to keep using it if he wants to keep it. And there seem to be other super smartphone users who seem to be messing things up. Right off the bat, it gave me Future Diary vibes, which is never a good thing. Yet at the same time, I think Future Diary had an alright premise that, you know, could have been saved if it was any good. Platinum End did the same thing and was also not good. Maybe this slightly different take can be better. Hopefully. Also got a bit of Death Note vibes with, you know, the sort of mind games going on, the ways that he uses the phone. I don't think it's really as clever as the start of that series was. But yeah, no, this one is alright. Like with Earthchild, I don't know if it has any legs. I don't know if it'll go on to be a hit. But I'm kind of interested in seeing how this one turns out. And then you have Akane Banashi. Probably the best Jump series in a very long time. Like, it's actually incredible so far, and I've only read a handful of the first chapters. This series is about a young girl training in the ways of Rakugo, which is something I had admittedly not really heard about. It is a style of performative storytelling in Japan, sort of like a one-man show where just someone goes up on stage, sits down, and they just perform a story, performing all the characters. It seems like a lot of work and talent goes into it, and I am kind of glad I had not heard much about this form of storytelling before, because I can sort of experience it now for the first time through this series, which from the start has been very fantastic. This girl who is learning the ways of Rakugo is inspired by her father, who is sort of like a failed Rakugo performer, and she's going on to sort of continue his legacy to show people that they were wrong about him. And yeah, our main character Akane is just so energetic, so full of life and likable. And the characters they've introduced, like her mentor, there's like a rival she made early on, they're all so great so far. And I'm really, really excited to see how this story plays out. It really has something that a lot of Shonen Jump series are lacking at the start. And I think it's something very fitting for a manga about performing, and that's confidence. This series knows exactly what it is, what it wants to be. It comes out swinging, it hooks you right away, and there's just no bullshit. The mangaka has no doubt this series will be a hit. There aren't gonna be any bullshit nonsense things they're gonna change around early on to make it more appealing. And that's why I feel this start has been so strong. It reminds me of another series, of course, Act Age, which I don't mind talking about now because you can't legally support it in any way. That was also a series about a young girl learning the performing arts with a lot of great characters and storylines. Too bad the writer ended up being a pedophile, but it's okay because this series really seems to have filled that void. I'm usually skeptical about new series because we don't know if they're going to get axed, but honestly, if this series gets axed at this point, I'm gonna quit. Okay, I'm just gonna quit. This is wonderful, and I can't wait to see where it goes. Normally that would be it, but something quite interesting has happened. Most of you, of course, know what I'm talking about. Hunter x Hunter is officially returning. Now, this is the first time I have talked about Hunter x Hunter in this series, because it's the first time we've actually had any news about it. It has been on hiatus for almost 4 years now, making it the longest hiatus for the series. A lot of people had since given up hope that it would ever return, and while I was still optimistic, I did do a full series review on it a few years ago just because, I wasn't sure if it would ever actually have an ending. And while we still don't know that for sure, we now know that Togashi is currently working on more chapters. We don't know when they will come out. Now, Hunter x Hunter always has a slot in Shonen Jump. Another series won't have to end for it to come back. It could pretty much come back any week it wants to. But what I really, really loved about this announcement was just how it happened, because it was so weird. Togashi just randomly joined Twitter, posted a page he was working on, and said he was working on more Hunter x Hunter. No one actually knew it was him at first. It could have easily been a fake account, due to the fact that he wasn't verified, and also his username was this monstrosity. He definitely tried to use another name and it was taken, so they just gave him an automated one and he took it, because he's old. So people were kind of freaking out for a few hours, but also remaining skeptical because we didn't know who this actually was. But then it was eventually confirmed by Yusuke Murata, of all people, that yes, this was Togashi. Hunter x Hunter is coming back. Holy fucking shit. Very big news for a lot of people. He ended up gaining millions of followers. He must have set a new follower record. It was crazy. And ever since, he's been posting new pages showing that he is fully committed to the return of Hunter x Hunter. Now, we don't know how long this return will last for, but hopefully it will inch the series a little bit closer to a conclusion, because a lot of us really want to see Hunter x Hunter conclude, but we also care about Togashi's health. I don't want him to continue doing this if it's going to be detrimental to his health, but if he's on board, if he's excited to continue going, I'm excited to keep reading. I have not read the currently ongoing Hunter x Hunter arc yet because I wasn't sure if it was ever going to finish, but now I feel like I can finally get into it. So I am quite excited for that, and I am very, very happy that one of my favorite series is returning. And that's all we have for this Shonen Jump recap. Hopefully it won't be too much longer for the next one, as like I said, I think a bunch of new series are going to be starting up soon. So you can leave your thoughts on all of these series I talked about in the comments down below, and I will see you all soon for the Golden Kamui review.